Hello everybody, I am Technovoid, your host and celebrity chef so deep undercover I don't truly remember who I am anymore, and with me is your favorite Pokemon analyst, Hamster Wings. We're back with TDD Season 5, Week 6.
You're a cook.
I'm gonna make you the beef parmigiani, and I don't know who my wife is. So, let's talk.
Okay. I'm down.
Alright. So, this week, we, again, do not have all that many matches to talk about. A couple haven't happened yet. A lot of them were just kind of depressing. But we do have this match for you here, MathGeek versus Cause. I believe this is Cause's second time showing up.
I mean, we would talk about the matches if they were depressing and good, but they were good. However, most of them were kind of one on prep, and we don't have a lot to say turn by turn.
Yeah. I mean, we'll mention a couple things towards the end, but we do have this here. I believe this is Cause's second time showing up. First time was week 1, where they got 6-0'd by PLKJ. Throughout the season, we have sort of been saying, Cause, please, 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 reach out, get some advice. Not sure if they have, not to me at least, but this week they actually, had some gameplay that I feel like we could talk about, and so I just wanted to get this match in here. Before we get into the actual match and the things that we think should have been different, let's just talk about these teams.
Yeah, so, I mean, I really see a scary team for Math to deal with, honestly. Like, if everything on Cause's team was running standard, I would feel afraid if I was Math Geek.
Yeah, I mean, we pretty much, almost one for one have Pokemon that beat the enemy team. Like Jirachi is obviously gonna beat Diancie, Torn is obviously gonna beat Buzzwole.
Torn has beaten both of them. Torn's beaten both of them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean bringing here the SAA core, which good plan there. Also, obviously very good that of the B tiers, Toxapex I think makes the most sense here. Because that's superior. If you let it set up, Quagsire and Slowbro are going to be completely useless against it.
Yeah, Unaware doesn't dodge 4x weaknesses.
Yeah. Smeargle, obviously, from Cause's side, how do we feel about the Altaria, the Infernape, and the Golem? This is Golem's first appearance.
Oh, is it?
Yes, Golem has not appeared yet.
Well, I mean, Infernape's always nice. It's got that nice little fake out stuff. It can do a lot.
Sure.
It can use Stealth Rocks if it wanted to. I don't, for some reason.
I guess.
I'm just saying, it gets that. I don't know why, but it does.
Weird flex Infernape, but alright.
Altaria, I honestly don't see a lot for. I don't see what it does super well, but I mean, it's a fine generalist mon, I think. Golem, I don't know what Golem is here for. I don't think it would want to trap Kartana because it dies. But
can it do that? I thought it gets Galvanize.
It gets Galvanize and Magna Pull.
I see. I think my guess is the Golem was probably here for the water types.
Key waters, yeah.
Yeah.
Aren't Quagsire, but I mean, you have Superior, so you don't need to worry about Quagsire.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if Cause does watch other people's matches, but if he does, perchance, then he has a pretty good read on the fact that Staraptor is going to be coming here, so it's nice against that.
Yeah.
Okay, alright, let's play into it. I keep saying things that aren't real, and that's okay. So we have the lead here, obviously, Smeargle and Diancie. And a very, very solid lead here from Cause, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a great lead.
Yes, and immediately going for the Z prep into that Smeargle.
Ooh.
Honestly, props to Cause here. I think Cause has made a fair number of mistakes throughout the season. I think this was just about the best thing he could have done. Knowing Cause's sort of lack of game knowledge, this Smeargle could have easily taken over this game if it was not gotten rid of, just because it is weird, it is wacky, and Cause wouldn't really know how to deal with it. So prepping into that and just getting rid of it as soon as possible, knowing that Math is probably going to try and lead with it and do something funky with it, I think just very, very good play here. It's done. Everything else here is pretty standard.
Yep, no focus miss, just go straight for the Z move.
Just straight for the Z move. Really, really like that play there. I think I was worried looking into this match. I was worried, okay, MathGeek is going to potentially, do some, shit with with the smear goal that Cause is not going to be able to prepare for. Cause manages to prepare for it by just killing it.
Yep, and Superior is faster than Diancie here, so I would say switching into Buzzwole puts him in a bad spot, but instead Torn U-turns out.
Yes. So, is this the point where you want to talk about that turn?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
So, Torn beats Buzzwole.
Yes, very, very hard.
Always. Unless it doesn't have a flying move, which it always should because it's its one stab.
Yeah, so this is just a prep. Like, this isn't advice in the match because obviously if you don't have a flying type move, it's going to be hard to kill Buzzwole. You have the Heat Wave, of course, but with that, so you didn't have the flying move. I guess you had to U-turn out there. But just generally looking into the prep, you see that one of Matt's strongest Pokemon is this 4x to flying Pokemon, and you have a really, really strong pure flying type Pokemon.
But at the very least, even if you don't have a flying move, you kill the Diancie this turn, or at the very least it's not attacking Torn because it's dying to Superior or it's switching.
Yes.
So at the very least, you want to use Heat Wave.
You want to use Heat Wave because it's not even going to be reduced by hitting 2 Pokemon at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just going to hit the Buzzwole. So yeah, that would have made a lot of sense.
What you can do is like Ice Punch you, and it really it's not going to kill Torn.
It's not going to kill probably. Yeah. To that point, just like in terms of the moveset, this Torn did have Defog. I really don't think Rocks was a huge concern in this match. The one thing that Rocks was good against is it broke Infernape's Sash, and it made it harder for Torn to get those regenerators, but like you have to switch it in to defog it anyways.
Yeah.
So I think that the defog did not need to be on that set. The Thunder Punch here paralyzes that. It doesn't really make a difference.
Yeah, probably would have done a little over half to Torn.
Yes. And here another point. This is very important. We see this. We do not see an Intimidate come out. Intimidate is a really, really good ability. If you see a Pokemon that gets Intimidate and it comes out and it doesn't intimidate the enemy team, you should be very keyed into what that Pokemon's actual ability is and why it's running that other ability. Because Intimidate is so good, there's no reason to not run it in doubles unless like the enemy has competitive or you're running a very specific set, which in this case, Reckless.
Scarf Reckless.
Reckless. So that's going to take out that, which is unfortunate because I feel like that Superior, despite the fact that it has already done a lot of work, still had a lot of potential to do some more.
Yep, and now Buzzwole can get the ball rolling.
Yes.
Out comes these two, so which means you do get a fake out, which is nice.
Yes. And the Sash protects, which is very good there.
Yep, keeping Infernape alive.
Yes, and Quail goes
once again, Staraptor living his legacy, going 1-for-1 every match.
Although I will say, this is the first time that Staraptor has died to something other than itself.
Yeah.
So this is the first time anybody's killed Staraptor.
Kartana gonna outspeed Infernape. Definitely wanted to use a priority move if you had one. Think Vacuum Wave or Mach Punch.
Yeah,
those.
Yeah, Cause is in a bad position here because both of these things are now boosting up, and like, what is Golem gonna do there?
Yeah.
But here we have a turn.
Yep. Gonna go for the Detect. I don't really know why. Protect has more PP.
Unfortunate Heat Wave living 1% there. I think the Fire Punch made sense there.
Yeah, like, it could have been sashed, and it was.
Yeah. Like, I don't think he could have predicted that, so that was unfortunate.
Yep, I agree.
So here he does kill, and it again, it would have killed. So I think Cause did make the right play there. I don't think he could have predicted the Detect, and I think either way it was more safer to assume that it would be sashed and double target into that slot. Yep. But unfortunately, off of that, he does die, and he loses the Heat Wave, and it ends at 2-0. Honestly, so Cause did still lose here. I think this is the best match by a very, very wide margin that Cause has had this season.
Yeah, I agree.
And just to Math's point, I mean, I think there's a couple of reasons why Math won this. Some of them, honestly, being that, Cause is one of the weaker players, but even regardless of that, the fact that Math actually brought his SAA core and actually used them.
Yeah.
I
mean, Cause is probably the newest player, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just to, I wonder if that Smeargle lived. I wonder how what's encouraged is the wrong word. How
discouraged?
No. Like I'm wondering like if Math. I wonder if the Smeargle lived and got to do something funky, if Math would have won, because I sort of feel like Math would have gone down a different path and potentially played more suboptimally if he still had the Smeargle.
I believe the Smeargle was running Geomancy.
Okay. Alright. So, I mean, I hope it's Geomancy Baton Pass. I hope it's not just Geomancy.
Yeah, I think it was.
Okay. Yes. My +2 Smeargle with my 30 attack. Let's go. Alrighty. So that is going to be our only quick match for the week. Any final thoughts here?
No. I think it was Cause's best performance, and I think Math clutched it out at the end with Prospect sitting in the back.
Yes. Yeah, I think Cause had definitely the opportunity here, but I think he did need to build the team slightly differently. I do think his prep was decent. I think the Pokemon he brought here, maybe with the exception of Altaria, they were good choices. They were pretty good sets here. He did make a couple of good reads throughout the match, but there were just some other things. Like you see the Buzzwole, you do need to run that flying type move. Just stuff like that. But yeah.
Yeah, that's a threat.
Okay. One more week. I believe in you, Cause. I believe in you. All right, moving into Timer Ball. We have one match here as well. We have Peanut versus Co. Let's talk about it.
This is an interesting match. Very interesting match.
Cool. So let's just play right into it, right?
Well, we can talk about it.
Yeah, I was joking.
So, we've got, two fake outers at the back. Everybody knows them and loves them as Toxicroak and Torracat.
Yeah.
The two T's.
Two T's.
We have, right before that slot, the battle of the two tankiest evolutions. Debatably, Sylveon is also there, but, whatever. Urshifu definitely very scary into this. A lot of Peanut's, damage mitigation comes from Intimidate, which Urshifu can ignore if he chooses to Wicked Blow.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always scary. Bringing Umbreon is kind of scary, considering, an Urshifu is not going to allow you to Wish Protect ever, because he'll just kill you.
Yeah, Protect is nothing.
Yeah, so gotta keep in mind the Protects whenever Urshifu's out.
Urshifu kind of single-handedly beats this team, huh?
Yeah, Urshifu is very, very strong into this,
and scary...
he needs to 100% prioritize killing it.
Yeah, that is a scary fucking bear.
Yeah.
Alright.
Outside of that, I mean, what beats Urshifu here? I guess Dragonite. Outside of that, it's not looking great.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't have too much. Yeah, probably the Porygon could probably take it out just because of how low Urshifu's special defense is anyways.
Yeah, but not if it's banded. If it's banded, Porygon's just dying.
That's a true point. That's a true fact.
We know it's not,
yes.
But we'll get to that.
Okay, alright. Let's do it.
So yeah, I think Ko on Team Preview actually is looking like a threat.
I like Peanut's names this match.
Yeah, I mean...
Very fitting.
Yeah. So turn 1, Tailwind's going up, and unleashing the Z Ice move onto the Dragonite doesn't kill because of multi-scale.
Yes, I'm guessing that is Z Glaciate. And the dual
probably?
wing beat, I'm assuming that was probably sashed. Or maybe not, because Excadrill's usually sashed. But the dual wing beat does take it out regardless of that.
Yep,
really nice.
Turn 1. Torracat comes in, you know a fake out's coming. What is your play?
And he fixed it to the other slot.
Yeah.
Useful paralysis there. buys Peanut a bit of time.
Definitely.
And this is kind of a big taunt.
Yeah, definitely a good play. I would be happy to taunt either of these, honestly.
Yeah.
And Porygon, I mean, it is very tanky, and it's getting its chip down.
And it just is losing that attack. Torracat showing that it is a useful seed here. Really, really unfortunate paralysis here. The foul play comes out.
Good time to bring in Urshifu. It does get paralyzed, but I don't even think that's the biggest issue in this match. It's just so threatening.
Yeah, the attack comes out. I think that totally makes sense for Peanut to do that, but like it does, you know, it does still avoid that with Wicked Low.
I mean, it does allow the Umbreon to live.
Yes, and shake off the taunt, and just everyone's got Intimidate fucking pivots.
So here's a Protect. You still die through Protects.
But he's paralyzed.
Not this turn because of the paralysis.
I think Peanut might have forgotten that Protect doesn't affect Urshifu.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. Even though I reminded him before the match.
Hilarious. Okay, here comes Vaporeon, and this Vaporeon kind of... another paralysis. Ko is in such a bad spot right now.
Yeah, I said it didn't matter. I guess I'm an idiot. It matters if you get full parried like 3 times.
Yeah, he keeps dropping this thing's attack, which ends up working out.
Umbreon to live again.
It somehow keeps working out because this man just don't crit.
Yeah, and at this point, pulling out the Urshifu is definitely the right choice. It's a -2 defense. It's gonna die if Toxicroak hits it with a fighting move.
Yeah, instead going for the Z poison.
Yeah, I would call that a read, sort of. Because you just want to get off your highest BP move into the thing you know that's switching out.
Yeah. Now this Vaporeon really just starts putting in some work here. Torracat gonna reading correctly there, but it literally doesn't matter because Umbreon is down. That's kind of big.
So in comes Dragonite. Always some kind of a threat.
I am worried about Dragonite. I mean, like, sure it has E-Speed, but
that
like...
doesn't make sense. I don't know why he went for E-Speed. He is the fastest thing on the field.
Yeah, and also this thing has Ice Beam.
Yeah.
Like, we may not have known that before that, but it's a Vaporeon. It's gonna... You have 2 things quad weak to Ice.
Revealed it. Personally, I would have gone Spectre there.
Okay. Good fake out there. This Urshifu, for what it's worth, Peanut might be, like, potentially misplaying around this Urshifu, but it's working out for him.
Kind of.
This Urshifu has not had really a chance to do much of anything this match.
I say kind of because he's lost his Dragonite.
Yes, and he keeps protecting.
Yeah, and I mean, it's gonna go right through.
What you doing, man?
Yeah. I mean, it's the Punch Bear. It's got unseen fists because it uses kicks.
Damn. Just puts his arms behind his back.
Yeah, and suddenly a 6-4 has gone down to a 3-4.
Yeah.
2-4.
This Vaporeon just sitting here, refusing to die, and just killing shit with Ice Beam.
Yeah, Vaporeon's being a menace. Sensible Protect on the Toxicroak, can't fake out the Spectre anyway.
We get a Grimnay here, which is pretty nice.
And then he reveals the Yawn when there's only 2 Pokemon left.
Yep, that's it. Does that track for you?
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, just kill the Vaporeon, right?
That's what I would have done, but in the end it only would have given him another differential point, which is always nice, but then the Spectre falls asleep and the result is the same.
Yeah.
Waiting until the last 2 turns to reveal Yawn is nasty.
Absolutely, yeah. That I feel like that's a really interesting match to watch because Peanut did have a pretty strong advantage very early on in the match, and it came down to him just not playing aggressively. Like
I think one of the biggest things is protecting in front of Urshifu, obviously. Don't do that. And then the other thing was the questionable Dragonite sack.
Yeah. Bringing in Dragonite when it didn't really accomplish anything. Like it wasn't threatening a KO on anything, and it just kind of died.
Yeah, and you really really needed it for Urshifu.
It's faster than Urshifu, right?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think. Yeah, playing more aggressively.
Ko knew that he needed Dragonite to beat Urshifu because he prepped a Z-move for it.
Oh yeah, true.
And while it might have been for Landorus, I would still argue that it was probably for Dragonite.
Potentially, yeah. I think Umbreon probably overstayed its welcome in this match.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think there were a lot of turns that you could have gone Spectrier.
Yeah.
Earlier, because I think saving Spectrier for last makes it. It's good sometimes. Like, don't get me wrong, but I think against a team like this, where, I mean, a lot of his tools are Fake Out Intimidate and a tanky Vaporeon, I just think Spectrier needs to come out faster.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, Fake Out and Intimidate don't actually do anything to Spectrier.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it should have come out earlier.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, it didn't need to be cleanup crew. It wasn't threatened. Yeah. I just feel like spending too much time, especially, with their... I mean, the paralysis ended up working out really well for Peanut. I feel like he would have lost potentially a lot faster if that Urshifu got to do a move ever.
Yeah.
so that worked out for him. But just, I think, with the Porygon, I think it's actually the opposite of what we saw last week with Ko losing a match because he spent so much time sort of playing with like a double defensive core on his side of the field. I feel like Peanut spent a lot
more switching this time. There was a lot more switching and like aggressive pivots this time.
Yeah, from Ko, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think a very good match there, and that is actually gonna be it for this week. We don't have anything else for you. Very short video, yay, good for me. Just in terms of other matches, I do want to make special note. We aren't talking about it specifically, but Meteor Bower versus Post. I think honestly, really, really good showing from Post. Some of the best pivots we've seen from him. Potentially.
Gut-wrenching match to watch.
Yeah, we did want to talk about it because it was really sad. But I do think that Post just had some of the really, really strong pivots and just a really good
play he's ever shown. And
yeah, really good mind games.
Because he's already very good, in my opinion.
Agreed. Solid mind games from him. He took a chance, did some stuff he wasn't comfortable doing, and I think it really, really panned out for him. With weakness policy and stuff like that. Just some unfortunate misses in the late game that really cost him the match there.
More than some.
Yeah, there were like 3. In terms of other matches, I'm not sure there's too much else to say.
Yeah, both of our matches, I think, were lost in prep.
Yeah. This is true. For that reason, I don't think there's too much to say about them. Obviously good on Lazaden and Diggory for winning their matches. I will say, at least in my case, a lot of it came down to me just not respecting the +0 Azumarill enough. I needed to do more calcs during my match. I kind of just went into the match, didn't have the calculator open, just whatever. And I ended up regretting it, because I kind of assumed that without a belly drum, Azumarill would threaten fewer of my things than it actually did. And then in your...
kills things. Yeah, it just kills things.
Yeah. And then in your match, I think, just to some degree, Diggory did a good job of, pulling out that weird-ass Trick Room into something... Did you expect the Trick Room at all? No, you didn't expect it. I think that was a huge boon for Diggory, because a lot of your team relied on winning the Speed War, which once the match started and that Audino was in, you're like, shit, I can't.
Yeah.
So that was unfortunate, and you weren't quite prepped to play that long game out as much as you needed to.
Yep.
Otherwise, still waiting on a few matches, but that is going to be it for this week. Thank you so much for joining. We will see you guys for the last week next week. We will see you all next week for the last week of the main season, and then obviously we're going to take a week off. We'll talk about the season as a whole. We'll have the awards ceremony, and then it'll be a couple of weeks of playoffs, which neither of us will be in, which is, I think, the first season that we'll be talking about playoffs and neither of us will be in it.
Yeah, crazy.
Nice. Definitely not salty about that at all. Goodbye, I've been Technovoid. This has been Hamster Wings.
Hey,
See
goodbye.
ya.